Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Kill Team Battle Report. I'm Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Savannah Line Games in Pooler, Georgia, where I'm about to fight a kill team battle between my Deathwatch and Harris's Harlequins. So the story that we've got going on here is that the Harlequins have been performing their play here on this planet, trying to determine what they have to do through the skeins of fate here. And the Deathwatch were sent in to go purge the alien and remove the xenos threat and stop whatever play they're doing there. Yeah, they're doing Space Phantom of the Opera over here, and the Deathwatch are the ultimate critics trying to close down the show. Yeah, not a fan. They're not a fan of theater. So that is the story. The mission we are going to be playing is escalating hostilities. Essentially, there are 6 objectives on the table here. 2 close to each of our deployment zones, and 2 in the middle here. At the end of the initiative step of each of the second and third turns, we are going to take turns removing objective markers from that are closest to our deployment zone. So basically meaning that it's going to be pushing everything towards the middle here. At the end of each turning point, you score a victory point for every objective that you control, up to 4 for the first 2 turns. And then for turning point 3 and 4, you score 2 victory points for every objective marker that you control, because then we're only going to have the 2 in the middle there that will be still on the table. So that's the story. That's the mission. Before we go any further, let's show you the 2 kill teams that are going to be fighting it out. So for the Deathwatch, I'll be running a veteran kill team, and the Harlequins will be running 1 troop kill team. Going over deployment now, I've got my Sergeant over here on the left with the the Storm Shield and Lightning Claw. I then have a fighter with 2 Lightning Claws next to him. I've got 2 warriors over here with bolters, Deathwatch bolters and power swords. And then I've got my gunner over here with an Infernus heavy bolter. Going over deployment for the Harlequins, we've just got a bunch of Harlequins. So they're all along the side here. They've got various weapons. They're pretty much WYSIWYG, right? The way you've got them.
The guy with the sword has a shuriken pistol.
The guy with the sword has a shuriken pistol instead of a fusion gun.
Because he's the guy with the sword.
Yeah, because he's the guy with the sword. So it's easy enough to tell for that one. But otherwise, they are going to be fusion pistols, various shuriken pistols. And kisses and caresses across the board, and a neurodisruptor somewhere in here. But yeah. They've got them around there. So that's where they are, all along the line here. He's got them all in conceal there because he's ready to move up the board and not be shot by my guys. So that is going to be deployment. We are now going to do the scouting phase. So essentially with scouting phase, for those of you who don't know, there's 3 options you can choose. Number 1 is fortify, which allows you to place another a barrier down on the table. You have infiltrate, which allows you to, once during the turning point, it allows you to choose one of your operatives and change their token, their engagement token. So you can change their token from either from conceal to engage or from engage to conceal. And then the other one is recon, which allows you to have a free dash move before the game starts here. So it's 1, 2, and 3, and this will also determine initiative for the first turn with a simple rock, paper, scissors system where fortify beats infiltrate, infiltrate beats recon, recon beats fortify. So we are now going to reveal them here. 1, 2, 3. So my opponent chose 3, I chose 3. So it's a tie here, which both of us will do our dash move. But because we both chose 3 there, my opponent is the attacker and can determine who has initiative, which I'm sure he's going to choose himself to allow him to get into position where he wants to there. So that's where we have there. So we will come back to you with the strategy step of turning point number 1. So into the strategy step here. At the beginning of the strategy step, we both gained a CP, putting us both at 3. My opponent spent 1 CP on a strategic ploy of domino fields, essentially allowing him to remain concealed even if I am shooting from a vantage point, or if I have used like a weapon that has like what is it? The ones that allow you to shoot without needing line of sight or whatever it is. Essentially, he just can. I can't choose him if he is going to have a conceal and receiving the thing.
Black of terrain.
He has to be within black of terrain, and he has to what?
And I can't shoot.
And he can't shoot. So that's what he's got with that. The domino feels there. So that's what my opponent has spent there. So he's going to be down to 2. We then went to the target reveal step. I don't have anything to reveal, but my opponent does. What's your target reveal that you're doing? So he's going to do challenge. He's going to have the second one as the challenge. So the guy back there is the kiss is going to challenge
Brother Sergeant Lightning Fingers.
Brother Sergeant, the fighter or the sergeant. The sergeant is the storm shield. Just the lightning claws guy. So the fighter over there, he's going to choose him as his challenge there. So if his other guy manages to kill my guy within, what is it? You have to be within.
I get 1 if I kill him with this operative.
Okay, 1 if he kills him with the operative, and an additional 1 if he kills him within red of him. So should be pretty good. We'll see how that all plays out there. So my guys need to be aggressive if he wants to be doing anything, because he's just got the lightning claws, and his guy wants him dead anyway because he's got the lightning claws. So that is going to be it for the strategy step. We will come back to you with the firefight step. My opponent has activated his first guy over here, who moved and dashed behind the barrels over here. So my first operative over here moved and dashed onto the objective over here. I do have another APL, but an AP that I could use, but all of his guys are concealed and therefore unable to be shot. All right, his guy over here activated, moving up onto the door to hold on to objective 2 over here. And then my guy over here activated and moved and dashed onto the objective. His guy over here moved and dashed up into cover over this side. Brother Lightning Fingers over here moved and dashed onto the objective. His guy over here moved and dashed onto the objective over here. So my guy over here had moved and dashed over here, and then his third APL will be to shoot into this guy over there that moved out onto the objective. I'm going to be using the Vengeance rounds with his bolter here. So these are going to be 4 shots. These are going to be hitting on 3s, and Vengeance is just going to be 4 damage and 4 damage. So hitting on 3s. So I got 2 hits there. I'm going to spend a CP to reroll one of those.
Yep.
Okay. So I've got 2 hits here. You can now have your 2 defense.
3 defense.
3 defense, that's right, 3 defense, and you've got a 4-up invul save, so you'll have looking for 4-ups.
We're good.
Getting 2, so he will ignore both of those. This guy up front here moved and dashed into cover. Then my guy moved over here onto the objective. Then his guy moved and dashed up onto the objective over here. And then my guy over here is going to Overwatch into the guy over there. We'll do Vengeance rounds again. So hitting on 4s because it is Overwatch, so it's -1 to hit. Wow, much better that time. Got 2 crits and 2 regulars here. So my opponent's going to be looking for 6s. Well, crits to knock those, but otherwise 4-ups. So you can ignore those 2, but those are going to be doing 4 damage, and he will be eliminated. Then the guy in the front there moved and dashed onto the objective. None of my other guys could see or that to do Overwatch here. And then his other person here moved and dashed up to the barrel. And that will be it for the end of the turning point here. I control 3 objectives. I control this one and the 2 back here at my deployment zone. My opponent controls 3 objectives because he's managed to get 2 people within engagement range of that, taking it over for me because he's got 3 APL on the objective versus my 3 APL. And then he's got this objective from the person back in the building and that objective over there. So 3 and 3. So we each score 3 points for this turning point. We are now going to move, figure out, so that's going to be the end of turning point 1. So now, at the beginning of turning point 2, we will roll for initiative. My opponent rolled a 1, I rolled a 5, so it will be my initiative. So now we take turns removing an objective from our deployment, near our deployment zone. So I'm going to choose this one to go away. My opponent chose the one on that same side over there to go away. So that's going to be it for the so we'll come back to you with the strategy step. I forgot to show this execution. I had to reveal it at the end of the first turning point there because I incapacitated more enemy than friendly, and at the end of the battle, if more enemy operatives than friendly operatives were incapacitated during 2 or more turning points, I score 1 VP, and 3 or more, I score 2 VP. All right, so into the strategy step here. We both gained a CP. I then went and spent a CP on Shock Assault, allowing me to do the fight action twice with my guys, and my opponent has chosen Prismatic Blur, which does like a bunch of different things. What does it do? It does like...
Each time a friendly troop operative performs a normal move, fallback, or charge action, it has become a prismatic blur.
Okay.
While it's a prismatic blur, each time a shooting attack is made against the operative in the roll defense die step of the shooting attack, you can re-roll defense die. Each time the operative fights in combat during the resolve successful hit step, each time your opponent strikes with a normal hit, you can roll a d6 on a 4+, treat that strike as a parry instead.
Okay, so my opponent, if he does a move or a charge or a fallback, he's got prismatic blur, which means that he can reroll a defense dice against shooting, and he can treat one of my strikes as a parry.
All of your strikes.
All of my strikes, sorry, each strike that I try to do, he rolls a d6, and on a 4+ or is it 6+? On a 4+, that strike instead becomes a parry. So you treat it as a parry. So I can't just like straight up gank him if I wanted to. So, but yeah, so that's going to be it for the strategy. Oh, my opponent did reveal route, which means that he gets points if he kills guys wholly within red of my deployment zone. And I've got nothing else to reveal there. So we will come back to you after with the firefight step. All right, so activating first in the fire step, I'm going to charge with my guy over here. He's going to go into both of these operatives over here. This is my sergeant. So he's going to attack into the guy on the back there who has the Harlequin kiss, correct? Yeah. So I've got 5 attacks with my lightning claw, hitting on 2s because he's my sergeant. It's got lethal 5. And we'll go from there. My opponent has kiss, so he's got 5 attacks. Any other weapon? It's just 3/7 on the damage there. He's going to be hitting on 2s though, because he gets +1 to hit because of the support over there. All right, so I have all hits but no crits over here. All right, and we'll come back to you. All right, so I got 5 hits. My opponent got 3 hits and a crit. So the way we've just talked it out, the way I'm going to do is I'm going to strike here, doing 4 damage to him. He is going to strike me with a crit, doing 7 damage to me, and then I will strike him with the crit, with the regular attack here, doing another 4 damage, and he is incapacitated. All right, so now I am going to activate again because I spent the 1 CP on shock assault, allowing me to fight again into his guy over here. So I'm going to have 5 attacks. These are going to be hitting on 3s because I'm wounded, and my opponent, that's his leader, but he's got the caress, which is basically is -1 to hit in close combat here, so he's also going to be hitting on 3s. All right, we'll come back to you with that. My opponent's going to CP reroll one of his into it. All right, so working these out, I can't do anything to keep my guy alive. So my best chance is to hit him with one of my crits for 5 damage, and then my opponent will hit me with one of his regular attacks for 5 damage, knocking me out. My opponent revealed Headhunter, so he got 2 points because it is the second turning point here for killing my dude bro there, because I was my leader. All right, so then my opponent has has activated his leader over here, who moved over to here and now is going to shoot my dude bro. He is going to have fusion pistol here, hitting on 3s though because he is wounded.
All right.
Getting 2 hits over there, and he's going to CP one of those. Reroll into a 2. So now that will not go. So it's just gonna be the 2 that go into me over here. It's AP -2. So I've just got my 1 save here, looking for a 3 up. I get it with a 5, so I'll ignore one of them. What's the damage on that? 5 damage into my guy. So now my guy, I activated my other guy that was back over here. So he charged into this guy over here while staying on the objective. He is now going to attack into him over here. So I'm going to have 5 attacks. My opponent's going to have 5 attacks. What do you have here?
Caress.
The caress. So I'm going to be hitting on 3s because I'm not wounded yet, and you are too? 4s because it's the caress.
That's 3 crits.
Opponent's got 3 crits. I've got 3 crits over here and 1 regular hit. So I'm going to reroll this because it's got relentless because he's got the 2 lightning claws. Not going to be a matter there. So we'll figure this out. All right, so I don't think I survived this because he got the 3 crits there. Those are going to do 6 damage apiece here, which will just take me out. So I'm just going to strike you with the crit there, doing 5 damage to you, and then you will incapacitate me. So his guy over here is now going to activate. He's going to go loud, and he is going to shoot my guy over on this side with the Neurodisruptor. Looking for 3s to hit. Getting 2 crits. What's the AP? It is AP1, so I've got 2 dice here that I'm trying to make saves for. Looking for, I guess, if I get 2 3s, I can ignore one of them, or I'm looking for fill faces for crits. So show me them saves. I'm going to spend a CP to reroll one of those. into a 3-up, so I will ignore one of those crits. What's the damage on this?
5 damage and you're stunned.
5 damage and I'm stunned, so at -1 to my APL. And now then my opponent charged me over here, so we are going to attack. I've got a power sword. He's got caress. So he's looking for 4s. I'm looking for 3s. Wow, that is not great right there. So my opponent's just going to use a crit and just straight up knock him out. All right, so now it's my activation. My guy over here is going to activate. He's going to shoot into his guy over there. So I'm going to have 4 shots with Vengeance here, looking for 3s to hit. That's going to be 2 hits. He's going to have 4 ups, isn't he? I'm going to spend a CP to reroll one of these. Getting into a fill face, so I'll take that. Woo! And here comes his defense, looking for 4 ups. Getting 2 regular. So he will take, block out those 2 regular, and he'll just take the crit of 4 damage. So then my guy over here charged into him there. So that's his second APL, third APL. He is going to fight him. So I've got 4 attacks with my power sword here, looking for 3s to hit. Okay, I got 3 fill faces over here. So
you're gonna kill.
I'm just going to straight up kill you with that one, with that lethal there. So he will be. And then I score Robin Ransack because I was within triangle when I took him out, and I'm more than square away from his guy over there, giving me a victory point. So now my opponent over here is going to activate. He is going to shoot my guy. So you're looking for the 3s to hit on the shuriken pistol. Okay, getting
2 hits.
2 hits there. I've got 3 dice, looking for 3s to save. Getting 2 saves there, so that'll be enough to make nothing. And now we are going to fight over here. So I got 4 dice looking for 3s. He's got 5 dice looking for 3s. I got 3 crits here because it's a lethal 5+. We'll come back. All right, so my opponent first is going to strike me with his crit there, doing 7 damage there with his, what is it, the Harlequin's Kiss. I'm then going to strike him with my crit, doing 5 damage. He'll strike me with a regular hit, doing 3 more damage, leaving me at 1. And then I'm going to spend a hit him with the other one, killing him with 5 there. Now I'm going to activate my gunner over here. He's going to fire into his leader over there. I'm going to have 5 shots here, looking for 3s to hit. That is only going to be 2 there. I think I've got 1 CP left. Yes. I'm going to spend a CP to reroll one of those into another hit, but not a crit. And now my opponent has 3 4-up saves. Nope, gonna fail one of them, and he doesn't have any CP to be able to reroll there. So that is going to be 1 save. All right, so because of prismatic blur over there, he's going to be able to reroll that. Otherwise, he will be dead. So 4+.
Oh my god.
No, so he will be dead. And then we have Deadly Marksman, so I'm going to show that. So he was chosen as my marksman because he incapacitated an enemy operative while he was within square of my drop zone. I can now, if any other enemy operatives are incapacitated by another shooting attack made by your marksman, score 1 VP. At the end of the battle, if you achieve the 2nd condition and your marksman has not been incapacitated, score 1 VP. And now my opponent is going to charge into my guy over there. So we will now roll our attack dice. Looking for 3s. Doesn't matter. You got enough. You got any of them. He will kill me right off the bat there. And then he's going to use another APL to jump up onto the point. So then I'm going to activate my guy for an Overwatch here. So he's going to be hitting on 4, shooting into this guy over there. So that is going to be a crit and 2 hits. 4 ups. Getting just the 1, so re-rolling 1 because of prismatic blur. No, not going to be enough there, so that's going to be doing 8 damage. He's going to be dead. And because I did kill another, incapacitate another model with the shooting attack made by the marksman, I score a VP. All right, so then we go into, then my opponent moved and dashed onto the objective here, and moved and dashed onto the objective there. So that is going to be it for the end of Turning Point 2 there. We are now going to go into, so at the end of the turning point there, I did kill more than him, so that got me my 2nd point for execution. And that is going to be that. So now we are going to move into the 2nd point there. Then we scored objectives. I control 1 objective. you control 2 objectives. So it's going to be 7-7 because my opponent got 2 points for that. I got 1 point for that. So we are tied at 7-7 here after 2 turning points. So now let's roll to see who has initiative going into turning point number 3. I rolled a 3, my opponent rolled a 1, so it will be Deathwatch here on... Oh, actually, at this point, we have to remove these 2 are the last 2 there. So now we just have the last 2 that are there. So we will go into the strategic step. All right, so into the strategy step, we both gained a CP, putting me at 1, my opponent at 2. My opponent then spent 1 CP on the strategic ploy of Rising Crescendo, which, what does that do? It gives you...
Add a blue to move, dash, and...
Adds blue to move, dash, and maybe charges there. So that's what we've got there. So we are now going to move into the firefight step. Because we don't have, everything is on the board now, so now we're just moving on. So into the firefight step, I'm going to move my guy over to here. He is now going to take aim on his dude bro over there. I am going to spend, or not going to, because I gave him the war gear of Suspensor Field, or Suspensor thingy, allowing him to move 3 and then be able to shoot. So he's going to move over here and then shoot into his guy there. So I'm going to have 5 shots with the heavy bolter portion, looking for 3s to hit. All right, getting a crit, another crit, and 2 regular hits there. My opponent is now going to roll 4 ups. Made crit and a regular 1, but that's still going to be 5 and 4 damage, so he will be dead. And then his guy over here activated. He moved up to this position on the objective, and now he's going to shoot into my guy with a Neurodisruptor. So he's going to be hitting on 4s because he is wounded. Getting no hits. Oof. All right, so that's the end of turning point 3. My opponent does control 1 objective, which gets him 2 points, putting him 2 points in the lead right now. It is 7-9. Very close game. This is going to be very exciting coming down to the wire here. So now we have initiative for turning point number 4. Here we go. Looking for initiative. Oh, and it's going to be the Harlequins initiative here. So we'll come back to you after there we'll come back to you with the strategic step. All right, so the strategic step here, we both got back a CP. I spent 1 on Shock Assault, and my opponent did not spend anything. So he's got 2 CP. I've got 1 CP left. Then we've still got nothing to reveal. So we are now moving into the firefight step. So he's going to activate his guy. He's going to shoot me with the Neurodisruptor over here, hitting on 4s because he's wounded. Getting so 1 crit. Oh, that's right, because it's lethal 5. So he's got 2 crits there. So I am looking for fill faces, basically. And I get 2 fill faces for the save! Woo! Then he will charge me over here, and he is going to use his last APL to fight me. So we'll come back to you with that. All right, so he's going to be looking for 5s to hit because he's -1 because he's hurt. I'm looking for 3s because I've just got my fists. All right.
That's enough.
So you've got, what is that? That's 2 crits and 2 regulars. 1. So I was trying to debate whether I re-roll, because if I re-rolled on a 3+, I thought I was going to be able to survive, because even if he hit me with a crit, I'd be alive, and then one of my, or even if he blocked one of mine, I would still have another one to do it. Otherwise, he could just block my 1 and kill me outright. But then he realized that he could spend 1 CP since he had the 2 crits. He could spend the 1 CP for murderous entrance since he charged me to just hit me with the 2 crits for strike me with the 2 for 12 damage, which out kills me there. So that's it. That's the end of the game because I've got no more activations. So that's the end of the 4th turning point, and my opponent doesn't score any more points. But he didn't need to because he had already scored the 2 points that he had from the last one. So it is a 9-7 victory to the Harlequins. Man, that was super close. It was so bad. That was there's literally 1 Harlequin left on the table. 1 wounded Harlequin left on the table here with 3 wounds left. It's true. It would be very easy. I could have smacked you in, like literally. I just had to backhand you with my regular fists, and he would have been dead. But super good. That was so good. That was so close. Man, that was so close. Yeah, you can't get, I mean, I don't know how you get much closer than that. Because, or I guess what would have been much closer is if he didn't have the CP for Murderous Entrance, and I spent the CP to reroll one of my hits, I had a 3-up chance to be able to kill him, move on to that objective, and then win by, because I would have held that objective at the end of the turning point to get me 2 points, and then my marksman would have been alive for an additional point to give me the victory 10-9. I guess that would have been technically closer. You win by 2, but man, it doesn't get much closer than that. So that was a ton of fun. Man, I hope you guys have all enjoyed this because I certainly have. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek, as always. My opponent's been Harris. And until next time, stay safe and have fun.